So,
Oh,
oh, it's good now. Okay.
okay.
All right.
Um,
So we're good.
who's it focusing on?
I don't know. It looks like it's on Jackson right now on
Is
my
it?
computer, but I
Mine?
don't know.
Okay. Jackson, do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, great. Are we recording now?
Yeah.
Yep, we're good.
Okay. Hi, guys. Well, yes, I'm Jackson. This is my my fourth class with National, and I am trying to be a high school PE teacher upon graduation. So I'm excited to go through the process of, the credentialing and meeting students, like-minded students, and I'm hoping we can all work together and tackle one issue at a time and, all pass with flying colors.
Yes. All right.
What
Kaylee,
about you guys?
would you like to go next? Do you want me to go?
I can go.
Okay.
Okay. My name's Kaylee Preciado. I'm actually going to start teaching this year. I'm going to be a math teacher, so I'm going to work on my internship credential. I'm really excited. This is my fifth class. I don't remember at the moment, but I'm looking forward to this assignment.
Cool.
All right. And my name is Megan McEntee, and I actually just accepted a job to start in the fall. So I've been subbing for a while, and now I'm going to be teaching math at a high school that I also coach water polo and swim at. So I'm very excited to start. I don't know what I'm going to be teaching, but most likely it'll probably be like Algebra 1 and geometry. I think that's what they're going to need me for. And yeah, this is also my fourth class with National. And yeah, I'm excited for this assignment. We'll see how it goes.
All right, guys.
All right. So I can start reading about Mr. Jones if we want to do it like that.
Okay.
All right.
So just to clarify, we can kind of read, like in different paragraphs, and like, are we going to stop and go over ideas about initial thoughts, like before or after or during?
I think. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, I think we can read through like the Mr. Jones section, and we can pull out the things that we want to highlight in that.
Okay.
And then we'll do that for each section, if that works for you guys.
That's perfect.
And then we can talk about our initial thoughts after we read the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All
All right. Mr. Jones. I'm John Jones, and I teach in a middle school, 6th to 8th grade. In a small district in the Central Valley of California, there are 2 elementary schools, 1 middle school, and 1 high school in our district. The student demographics are 46% Hispanic, 38% Anglo, 7% African American, 6% Asian, and 3% other. There are 2 special education classes on the middle school campus. 85% of the students are on free or reduced lunch. Our API is 600, which is an increase of 30 points from last year. I teach Algebra 1, and I'm concerned because many of my students are not being successful in the class. I teach mostly 7th and 8th grade students who are 12 to 14 years old, and it's the first time they're taking algebra. About 30% are earning D's and F's, and 40% are earning C's. I'm concerned that they are not doing better, and I am not sure what strategies I should use to help them improve. Some of the students present really challenging learning needs. Here is a profile of my class and some students I would like to help. We have been in school for 8 weeks. I know I should restructure my instruction, but I'm at a loss as to where to start. What could I change in class to better serve Ray and the other students who find asking questions, asking for help, and volunteering in class challenging? I've been thinking about some of the theories that I learned in my courses and teacher training and wondering if some of the concepts about developmental learning and motivation, behaviorism, and social learning might help me to better plan lessons. I want all my students to be successful in my classes, but I'm not sure what I should do.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and start with Ray. He's Mexican national. Ray seems to be a lot longer, or I'm sorry, one second. Ray seems to be a loner. I understand that a couple of years ago, he was in an accident, injured a head injury resulting in a loss of some hearing and brain injury. He wears a hearing aid now. He always comes in alone. He does not interact with other students and does not ask for help when he does not understand the material. I see him studying diagrams in our textbook but not discussing them or reading the text. I think he learns best by seeing representation or actual examples. When asked a question in class, he replies, I don't know. He does fair on individual homework assignments, but not on tests. He is responsible and his attendance is good. He is a polite and he is also respectful. When I have heard him talk, he is rather quiet.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about what we know from that so far?
Sure. Yeah, since we're focusing on Ray, I think it's a good idea to stop here for a quick minute.
Okay. I'm just going to throw some bullet points up.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can screen share with you. Share.
Yay!
Okay.
Cool.
Awesome. So, let me see where. So let's talk about Ray. So I think definitely the accident and head injury is important.
Yeah, so Ray, yeah, he definitely injured himself and he does have some hearing damage. You know, he has a hearing aid. I'm not sure with the brain injury. I'd be curious to ask if he incurred a concussion or had any sort of brain damage.
Well, the way it looks like to me, or I don't know about you guys, I wonder if like he has a um a documented disability now, because if he has a hearing aid, I would assume that he is getting some special services, and so he does the Mr. Jones doesn't talk about that though. So if he like when he says that he has a head injury, or he had a brain injury and he has to wear a hearing aid, and like then he says that he learns best by seeing representations or actual examples. I wonder how well he can hear, and if it's like the hearing aid's doing as much, or maybe like he's almost like if he's slightly hearing impaired, or maybe he's like almost to the point of being deaf hearing impaired, if that makes sense.
Okay.
That's
Sure.
what I was thinking that too. And the fact that he's talking about how he focuses more on diagrams, but not like the reading of the text, like, I mean, I guess that's not really.
So what you're saying is he can work on diagrams because he can see it visually. His
Mhm.
eyesight is fine, but when it comes to instruction and learning new material, he's having trouble learning it. Maybe, maybe you're right in the sense of his hearing aids old or bad, or it's not working, or he's not used to it. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
In my personal experience, I worked with a little girl who had a hearing aid.
yeah.
And, I mean, obviously, we don't know, but her hearing aid wasn't always 100%. Like, she could hear things, but you had to be like directly talking to her, like looking at her, directly talking to her, because I think she also had to read lips some. And it seemed the important bit from there is when he said he would ask him questions in class, he would say, I don't know. And I wonder if he just really can't hear him. And that's why it's not getting through, because he's doing fair on homework. So maybe he can look at the book and teach himself, but he can't really listen to what he's saying.
But what about when he's taking tests? I mean, if he's doing well on his homework, you would think that he's doing good on tests. I mean, do you think the test um, is through instruction, or maybe he doesn't understand the test?
What I was thinking about the test was if he's talking about how he is not really paying attention in class, and also with a brain injury, he could have memory problems. That's my thing. I'm thinking like if he has homework, you can have your book there, you can look back and you can remind yourself what you're supposed to do. But if you're on a test, they're very, very unlikely that the teacher's going to give you your book to use. It's not something that happens very often. So that was what I was thinking is probably why he's not doing well on his tests, but he's doing fine on his assignments just because he has those extra aids.
Yeah, I think that probably should go in the need to know, like find out more about Ray's disability. Really, like it's
Yeah.
a disability because and if the brain, if he if it says that he had a brain injury, is it like you said, like a concussion, or is it more substantial? Because I'm guessing if he now has to wear a hearing aid, this accident really did cause some permanent damage.
And I'd also be curious to ask maybe his teachers he went to school with or that taught him before the actual injury. I mean, was he always so antisocial? I mean, was he always quiet when he came in class? I mean, was he always walking in with his head down when he went into the classroom? I mean, like, there's a lot of questions that we can ask here.
And maybe that's why he doesn't talk to people. Because
Is he shy? Is he having issues at home?
well, I'm just assuming, but if maybe he can't hear as well, then
Mm-hmm.
it's difficult to have a conversation.
It's true.
So I mean, he might just want to keep to himself because he can't hear.
Does he have any language barriers? Because it does say from his description of Ray, he's a Mexican national.
It doesn't specify, but I know like in the next section that we're going to come to, it does
Uh-huh.
specify that there is a language issue.
Okay. I mean, like, is there a possibility that he's not learning English as well? I mean, if he's a second language speaker.
Yeah, that'd be probably a good thing. Another need to know.
Yeah, this is definitely a tricky one.
There's like not enough information.
Yeah, this is more of a what we need to know, like questions that we can ask more than what we know, because we don't know very much. He got into an accident. He is very antisocial. He's good with diagrams, but doesn't really perform well on tests. He doesn't like to speak in class. He is respectful, but he doesn't want to partake with, answering questions from the teacher in regard to questions.
Okay.
Hmm.
I think we did good on that one.
Just trying to, yeah.
Write that. We did well. Do you need more time, or can I go ahead and start Marta?
You can go ahead.
Go ahead.
I need to minimize. Excuse me. Oh, it's okay. There we go. Okay. Marta, Mexican national. Another student, Marta, does not follow directions when I give them to the class. She will not speak when I call on her. She just stares down at her book on the desk. But then when I'm lecturing, she frequently turns and talks to another girl in class, Araceli, in Spanish. So I don't know what she is saying. Seems like she's always looking at Araceli's papers. This is disruptive to the class as I have to talk over her. Araceli's work has been very good, so I don't mind if she gives Marta a tip, but I'm afraid Marta might be copying Araceli's work because I find that Marta's work is the same as Araceli's work. For example, when she turns in her homework, it is very neat and tidy and complete, but errorless. I find this as peculiar as in class she does nothing and explains nothing. Okay, for this one, it seems like Marta might not speak any English.
Mm-hmm.
And that would explain that when he calls on her, she just stares down. Because if she can't speak, I mean, what would she say? And so maybe when she's talking to the other girl in Spanish, it's because she really doesn't know what's going on, and the other girl is translating, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't necessarily say that they're like giggling or
And it doesn't even specify